I feel it. Roll up.
Here we go, y'all.
Welcoming Dwayne to the Hall of Fame is the answer, Allen Iverson, Dwayne Wade.
Dwayne Wade's journey is a testament to the power of perseverance and pushing the boundaries of your comfort zone. Born in Chicago, Dwayne Wade rose to college basketball stardom at Marquette University. His talent led him to the NBA, where he won 3 championships with the Miami Heat. But Dwayne Wade's story is more than basketball. In 2012, he penned a memoir titled A Father First: How My Life Became Bigger Than Basketball, revealing his dedication to family and fatherhood. Dwayne Wade is not just a sports icon, but a true Renaissance man, excelling in numerous fields. He is an entrepreneur in the true sense of the word. His business ventures span from sports franchises as part owner of the Chicago Sky and Utah Jazz, to lifestyle brands, partnering with his wife Gabrielle to create a skincare line for children of color titled Proudly, to food with his restaurant 800 Degrees Wood-Fired Kitchen. Wade seemingly has his hands in everything. Never forgetting where he came from, Wade gives back to his community consistently, co-founding the Social Change Fund United with Carmelo Anthony and Chris Paul. The organization focuses on initiatives that impact Black communities across the country. He also runs the Wade Family Foundation, dedicated to making a positive impact for youth from underserved communities and disadvantaged backgrounds. Dwayne Wade's recent induction into the NBA Hall of Fame is a testament to his excellence both as an athlete and a role model. Gentlemen, please join us in welcoming NBA Hall of Fame legend Dwayne Wade to the Waymaker stage.
Make some noise! Dwayne Wade is in the building!
And without further ado, the Hall of Famer from Chicago, D. Wade. Thank you, sir.
What's up, y'all? Man, how y'all doing? Y'all good? Hey, this is a beautiful room, man. This is a beautiful room. Thank you guys for coming out, man. Appreciate y'all for supporting everything that Louis Carr and his whole team do. This is amazing, so thank y'all for allowing me to be here. We got legends in the house. What up?
George is the guy.
George is a legend, man. He's a legend. Thank you for being here, bro.
Well, I want to start off by letting you know what type of person D. Wade is and the commitments that he made. A year ago, at the end of the Waymaker Summit, I got a call from Andre King, and he said, Louis, D. Wade said that he's going to be there next year. And I said, oh, that's nice. But I know D. Wade is busy. He's got a lot of businesses. He's got a lot of commitments. So I said, that's nice. Never said, I don't think that's going to happen, all right? 6 months in, I said, Dre, D still going to do this? Oh, yeah, he's going to do it. Then I saw him a few months ago in Florida. I said, D, you still going to do it? He said, yeah. I said, but I know how things change. He said, yeah, things have changed, but I made a commitment. I'll be there. There's nothing going to happen that's going to stop me from being there. In this business, sports and entertainment, it changes all the time. People have to break commitments. But his commitment to Black men and Black youth, he did not change anything. And I want you guys to give him a round of applause for making a commitment a year ago.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. First of all, this ain't my basketball. I don't just walk around with basketballs. No, this is a young gentleman basketball. Where you at? No, I want him to come here. I want him to come up here. So I was sitting in the back, Louis, and this young man had this basketball in his hand. And immediately, this is a Chicago Bulls basketball. And immediately it took me right back to young Dwayne, right? Like this ball right here. How many people in here play basketball? How many people love this game, man? How many people dream that this game gonna take you and your family places that you wanna go, right? This ball has meant everything to me. This ball has meant everything for my family. This ball means a lot to our community. And so the Chicago Bulls was the first team I ever wanted to play on. Michael Jordan was my favorite player. And so when I saw this ball, man, it just took me right back. And I knew I was in the right place. So I want to assign this ball for you, young man. You keep this ball. You can dribble it, shoot it, whatever you want to do. But this is a beautiful ball, man. It could do a lot for you. All right?
Thank you for that. So D, the theme of this conference is living beyond your comfort zone for growth. Tell us how you were able to do that growing up in neighborhoods in Chicago that may have been deficient in many, many ways. How did D. Wade figure out that journey to sort of live beyond this comfort zone to be able to become a Hall of Famer?
My Hall of Fame speech, I talked about my dad, right? And I think along the way in life, I kind of forgot a little bit about the impact my father had on my life as a black man, getting up every day to provide for his family. And so I had an example in my life. And even though he wasn't doing it in a basketball sense, he was doing it to make sure his family can eat, that our lights could stay on, you know. I grew up in a very poor neighborhood in Robbins, Illinois. And so for me, I watched a man every day get up and provide for his family. And so I said, that's what I'm going to do. Whatever I decide to do, I'm going to work just as hard as my father's working, right? It didn't matter if he stayed up all night. My father he indulged on a little alcohol. It don't matter if he stayed up to 2, 3 in the morning. He was up at 5. I watched him over and over again. And so for me as a young kid having a dream, all I knew was get up every day, no matter what the circumstances are, and give everything you have to provide for your family. And that's how it started for me.
So D, but how did you avoid distractions?
Oh, I ain't avoid them. I ran into a lot of them.
Okay.
Yeah, straight on.
Talk about it.
I ran into all of them. So I talked to my son, right? So my son Zaire is 21, and he's been going through this basketball journey and wanting to be in the NBA. And sometime along the way, you start, talking about all the things that's getting in your way. And if they won't do this, and if they just let me. And I just had to let them know. I said, you see me sitting here now as a 41-year-old Hall of Famer, but what you don't see is the beginning. My mom was addicted to drugs and spent time in prison. I was a 9-year-old boy who went to visit my mom in prison, sat across from her, had to talk on the phone. You didn't see that. What you didn't see, you didn't see a kid who struggled in his academics, that people just kind of threw to the side. I had the red shirt my first year in college because I didn't pass my ACT. What you didn't see is a man who had a kid at 19 years old. Try that on for size. What am I supposed to do? What you didn't see is the knee surgeries, right? They took my meniscus out when I was 19 years old. They said I wouldn't have a long career. So like what you don't see the journey. You don't see all the roadblocks that are put in our way. Coming from the community that we come from, that's an immediate roadblock. We are not supposed to get out of there. You know how many roadblocks it is for you to get from your community to the next community? And so that's one roadblock. And along the way, you're going to run into so many others. And so my message in this would be, you know what? Bring it on. Don't be scared. They coming. The roadblocks are coming. It's set up for us to run into roadblocks. So instead of being afraid of running into them, prepare yourself for them as much as you can. And so that's what I tried to do along the way. And we're going to hit more, even at this level I'm at. It's a roadblock. It's something waiting around the corner. And I got to be prepared for it, whatever it is. And hopefully you have enough people around you, enough good people around you that can help you get through the storm, because you will run into it.
So D, talk about those variables that help you get through those roadblocks, whether there be things like discipline, be focus, be commitment. How do you get through them? I mean, there's one question that's been consistent to all of us throughout this conference is, do you ever have any self-doubt?
A lot of doubt. I talked about it once again in my Hall of Fame speech. I like to say I didn't second guess myself. I third, fourth, fifth guess myself. Of course, you're gonna have doubt. One of the scariest things, Louis, is to go for it. It's scary to go for it. It's scary to be successful. Because you know what that means? Now, once you do it, you got to keep doing it. It's scary to do that. Mm-hmm. And so, just along the way throughout all these blocks is I cried a little bit through them. You know what I mean? Like I went through a public, ugly, in Chicago, ugly divorce with my high school sweetheart. Ugly divorce with my, ugly custody battle with my kids. Cried a couple times, and then I learned, all right, what do I need to do? How am I going to come out of this better so I can come out better for my kids and what I need to do, right? And so I have a lot of mentors around me, and that's one thing that I feel like every one of you young black men should do. You should reach around you in your circle of life. If you can, please find a mentor. Find somebody who has done it before you. Find somebody who has went through the same mistakes. Find somebody who's had the successes. It ain't just about the successes, it's also the mistakes. When I had one of my biggest opportunities since I retired was to become an owner of the Utah Jazz. First thing I did, thank you. One of the first things I did, I called Andre King. Andre, where you at? Where Dre at? My brother Andre King over there. I called him to call Lewis, to call Bob Johnson, so I can have an opportunity to sit down with Bob, as I know, one of the first black owners in the NBA, and ask him any question that I can. And luckily, Bob decided to have some golf. We went out golfing, and I was able to sit down with a mentor and develop a relationship with someone as a mentor, and ask questions, and not be too big to say that what I didn't know, because I didn't know anything about ownership. And so tap into it, man. Tap into this mentorship that's provided for you guys, because it's going to be needed along the way of this journey. You can't do it by yourself. You cannot do it by yourself.
And D, when you were going through the divorce or through the multiple setbacks because of your knee or whatever, it seemed like no one knew, because you continued to show up every day. You continued to be the NBA All-Star that you were. How did you sort of keep that type of focus with all of this swirling around in your life? Yeah, the divorce was all over social media. They was saying everything, but your performance never went down.
Man, I feel like one of the luckiest men in the world. You know, I prayed for this. I prayed for God to get me out of the community that I grew up in, so I can give my family a different view of the world. And along the way, I promised, what I would do and who I would be. I asked for all the good things. I didn't know all the other things would come with it. But along the way of all other things that come with it, I try to stay to the principles of who I am and who I said I wanted to be. And you're gonna make mistakes, and understand that, and understand you got to learn from them. So, man, just going through it and not being afraid. My father told me, my father has so much talent. My father said the one thing he envied about me is that I'm not afraid to go for it. But growing up in the community I grew up in, why not? Why not go for it? Why not? Why would we be scared to go for something? We ain't giving nothing. So when we get an opportunity to go for something, you better go for it. You better try something different. And so along this process, man, when I talk about try something different, like, y'all got to learn how to get uncomfortable. Get uncomfortable. If you're comfortable right now in your life, you ain't doing it right. You should be uncomfortable. To be successful, to do anything, you have to get uncomfortable, because you're going to have to do something that you don't know that's out there. Like, going to the NBA wasn't like it was a dream, but I had to get uncomfortable along the way. I had to change my game along the way. I had to change my mindset along the way. So keep that in mind, man. If you feel like you're comfortable, then you ain't doing what you need to do. It's more out there for you.
We talked about, D, yesterday, that a coach's job is to make you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because a coach is going to take you someplace that you don't even know if you can go.
Yeah.
Teachers and professors make you uncomfortable because they're going to take you someplace you don't know you can go.
Yep.
A mentor is going to do the same thing. People ask me to be a mentor all the time, and I said, I don't know if you want that. I said, because from day one, my job is to make you uncomfortable, because that's the only way you're going to grow, is go into that uncomfortable place to see how great you can be. And the importance, and I think you know this, I'm a student of sports, all right? Some people watch it to enjoy it. I watch it to learn. In the Olympics, the first person that athlete looks for when they finish, it's not their parents, it's that coach. That person who believed in them before anybody else believed, because that coach saw something that nobody else saw. So that's why it's so important that we drive people to this uncomfortable place. And that's what Waymakers do. Waymakers are people who see something in you that you don't see in yourself. I've said it over and over. I had 19 Waymakers. That's an awful lot, D. So that means I was in really bad shape, right?
That means you was blessed. That means somebody cared.
19 Waymakers, and they saw something in me. I was telling someone earlier today, I was in corporate America cussing people out. I mean, with a big corner office, I would cuss your ass out in a second. And they got me a coach to say, you can do that differently. First thing I said, I don't want to do it differently. I think I'm doing a great job at it. They said, you can do that differently. And they spent a lot of money to help me get there. So, Dee, tell us about some uncomfortable pace that you had a challenge breaking out of, but you were committed to doing it.
Man, all this stuff is uncomfortable.
Doing this?
Oh, no, I mean, this right here is great. I feel like I'm in the crib. I'm back at the crib. But to be a black man and to try to be successful in this world, it's gonna feel uncomfortable because you never feel wanted in no room that you go in. You feel that immediately when you walk in the room and they already have pinned you and you know who you are without even getting a chance to hear you speak. And so it's all uncomfortable, right? This whole journey to tell somebody your dreams, people gonna laugh at you. Ain't how many people gonna really believe in a dream? You gonna tell them some outlandish stuff like, oh man, one day I'm gonna be one of the greatest players to play in the NBA. Yeah, kid, keep dreaming, right? That's what they tell you. So I think it's all uncomfortable because no one believes in you just from the color of your skin and your makeup, without even you opening your mouth yet. And so any room that I go in, it's always an uncomfortable space. But what breeds comfortability is the confidence that you have in yourself and your experiences, right? Like when you as an athlete, I'm comfortable because I was prepared for the moment. I'm comfortable at the end of the games because I prepared myself by the work I put in for the moment. So it wasn't new to me. And so if you walk in any room, you try to be successful at any point, only way you can feel comfortable if you prepared yourself for the moment. But the rooms and the places you go, they're going to feel foreign to you, and they're going to be uncomfortable. But that's okay, right? The uncomfortableness, it breeds something inside of you. It builds something inside of you. It brings out something inside of you that you didn't know you had, right? And so you have to be a risk taker in this world.
So let me get to some basketball questions. What was the player that brought something out of you that you didn't know that you had?
The player? No, ain't no player bring nothing out of me that I didn't know I had. The moment brought something out of me that I didn't know I had. Being 24, down 0-2 in the NBA Finals, down 13 in Game 3, that brought something out of me that I didn't know I had. I didn't know I can go to that level. Right? I knew I was good. I didn't know I can go to the greatest level because that's what I did in those 4 games. So that brought something out of me that I didn't know I had, but now that I look back on it, you're damn right I had it because look where I grew up, right? Like, I tell people all the time, I started playing basketball. I don't know if they don't call it 21 no more. We played 21 when I was growing up. Anybody grew up playing 21?
21.
All right. So try to be 5 foot playing 21 with grown-ass men and see if you get the ball. You know what I'm saying? You got to think the game. You got to be smart if you want to touch that ball as a little man because playing 21, once the shot go up, it's fair game after that. Ain't nobody passing you the ball. You got to go get it. You know what I'm saying? You know how hard that was? And so I know for me, man, I grew up playing that way. I grew up playing, like I said in my speech, against grown-ass men. And so I shouldn't have been surprised by the success because I was ready for it. But once the moment presented itself, I was prepared. I just didn't know I was.
So what was the moment, D, whether it was in high school or college, when you knew you were great?
My rookie year in the NBA, I knew I had a chance to be. When I got into the NBA, I was tearing people's asses up. And I was like, what? I ain't gonna even hold y'all. Like, I wasn't highly recruited coming out. Like, I wasn't the best player in Chicago. Like, I'm not the greatest player to ever play in Chicago. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because of my accolades, people like to put me up there. I'm not even close. I wasn't that great in high school, but I continued to keep working to build myself. But once I got to the NBA at 21 years old, I felt like everything came together at the right time. And probably halfway during my first season, I was like, oh, I'm nice. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta believe it. I was like, oh, I'm nice. You know what I mean? And so, but I had to show it. And I had to show it versus like, all right, I'm playing Iverson tonight. What you gonna do? All right, I'm playing Kobe tonight. What you gonna do? And even though I'm a fan, what I'm gonna do? And so in those moments when I showed up and then I showed out, I was like, oh, I'm nice. You know what I'm saying?
So when LeBron came to Miami,
Yeah, LeBron. Yeah, I thought you was gonna bring
whose team was it really?
Who said that? Where God at?
Yeah. Over here in the corner.
You from Ohio? What'd you say? Who team? What?
Whose team was it really? It was a debate. Was it D. Wade's team or was it LeBron's team?
Well, Mickey Harrison, he was the owner of the team. We rented some space for a little while. Well, I think early on, man. First of all, when LeBron came, he was. I'm 3 years older than LeBron, so I was about 28. Brown was 25. Yeah, he came down to Wade County. I think we all recognize the potential greatness of LeBron. He was showing it for like 7 years, so we knew how great he was going to be. But you have to learn how to win too. Just because you're great don't mean you know how to win, right? And so once LeBron came down to Miami, he learned how to win. He was put in a winning environment and a winning culture. It don't matter. You could be great in the wrong environment, right? That's what they predict, you to be great in the wrong environment. You put us in the right environment, we can now be argued as one of the greatest to play the game. LeBron he put himself, and we all sacrificed for him to get in the right environment. And as a leader, as I was a winner. I knew what it took to win. And so I was able to impart those invaluable lessons on him. So it didn't matter who team it was. I didn't care. I don't own this team. I know I'm renting space for a little while, but while I'm here, let me get out of this what I need. And I needed championships because I feel to be in a certain conversation, to not be left out of certain conversations, you got to have a certain kind of hardware.
Absolutely.
Bullet. I'm sorry, James Capers, everybody. What's up? How many texts you called on me in my career, James? Only one? You lying. You lying.
I didn't even know James Capers was in the room. He
NBA ref, everybody, James Capers.
Show love.
So James is a brother to my late agent, Henry Thomas, from Chicago, but actually also as well, James' daughter, Simone Capers, she's my right hand. She's, 28 now? She's 28 now? 29 now. She just had a birthday, right? And she's my right hand, and she's my chief of staff, and so the connections in Chicago run deep.
James Capers, yeah.
And I still didn't get no calls. George, you still didn't give me no calls.
So talk about when you left Miami. How emotional was that for you after being there so long?
Yeah, that was emotional because I believed in something that was told to me. I believed in family. I believed that I was going to get taken care of. I believed that everything I sacrificed, that was going to come back to me. And when it came down to negotiation, I was just another person on the other side of the table. I wasn't treated like that. I didn't feel that way. And so that opportunity in that moment gave me a time to really understand the business and understand that everything is a business, right? Like it's a lot of things that are business transactions. Okay, I want y'all to know that. We're talking about a lot of relationships, maybe all of them, besides your homies. And some of them are. So most things is business transactions. And I realized that at that moment. And so it definitely hit me hard, hit me in all my emotions and my pride and my ego. But it also, too, allowed space for me to do it for 1 year, to come back home and live a dream out, put on that Chicago Bulls jersey. And so I was happy for that moment in my career. But I was pissed, Lewis. Like, I was hurt, bro. I'm not still hurt because I'm thankful for that experience because I learned from it. But, I wish it would have went different. But I needed that lesson. And that lesson is something I could pass down to the next gen. I could pass down on my kids, is understanding the business transaction of this world and not trusting the word of someone.
You have been as successful off the court as you have on the court.
You think so?
Yeah. I think so. When I saw you hosting the television show, I said, well, so clearly you have been successful. You just are not the athlete that, transferred into being a sportscaster, even though you did that. But you have several businesses
Yes, sir.
that you run. How important was that to you in the fulfillment of who the whole Dwayne Wade was?
I didn't know how important it was until really retirement. I think throughout my basketball career, we all try to do other things and, try to make other money. You get passions along the way. And so you just do things. And once I retired, I've been retired now 4 years, going on 5, I realized that I was just doing things, that I actually had to learn business. And actually, to come from one place where you are one of the greatest and one of the best, and to come into another world where you're starting over as a kindergarten again, is humbling. And so I came into this business world needing to learn how to be a businessman and what does that really embody. Because at first I just was putting my name on things. And so now I'm in a process of doing that. I'm in a process of really owning my own business, which is me. And spending time on the things that I want to spend time on and doing them the way I want to do them. But that's not easy because we don't own a lot of things, right? In basketball, I can control the outcome because I had the ball in my hand. In business, we don't own a lot of things. And so you can't have the ball in your hand. You can't play from your instincts. And so I'm trying to learn how to put that ball back in my hand in business so I can play from my instincts and create the things that I would love to create.
What are some of those transferable skills, though? We always talk about success is transferable from place to place. What are some of the skills that you say, hey, this is what made me successful in the NBA?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them.
Transfer those to business.
Yeah, let's go with the first one I tell my kids, time management. Time management will be one of the important things in your life, how you can manage your days, how you can manage your time. So I'm very important about time management, man. And it was like that when I played basketball because I wasn't just a basketball player. I was a basketball player. I had businesses. I had a wife. I had kids. I had mom, dad, family, friends, boys. I wanted to go out clubbing. I had women. I had it all, right? I got to manage my time. And so time management is one of the biggest things that I can immediately transfer. It's how I set my day. And from there, for me, man, it's just really understanding that, what matters to me, what feels good to me. So I work out daily, right? When I'm at home, I get up, I train my mind, I train my body, because that's important for me, right? So I think it's just taking these same pillars that you use to be successful in one thing and learning how to transform. You already know how to do it. It's just in a different arena. So I'm doing the same things I did as an athlete. If I needed to work on my jump shot, I brought in a coach, right? I brought in a trainer. And so if I need work to host a game show, The Cube, or if I need work to get on a TV show and know what I'm doing, to get on TV and talk, then I'll go find me a coach. So I hired a vocal coach for 4 years to prepare me for my Hall of Fame speech, to prepare me for The Cube, right? All these things. And so it's taking those same things that you know that works for you and it's applying them in something else.
Let's talk about family.
Maybe time, Lewis. No, let's talk about family. Yes, sir.
Let's talk about family. How have you been able to manage family and through your transition from the NBA to out of the NBA? Where did family kind of come in there? How do you got kids, you got a wife, you got sisters, you got mom and dad. How does all that work for you?
Well, my mom manages her side of the family. So it don't even come to me. Jolinda Wade don't play. Pastor Wade don't mess around. And my dad manages his side, and then I manage them. That's how we do it, right? That's how we talk and communicate about what the family needs, what I can provide, and what I'm not going to provide, right? That's how we do it. It's business transactions. When it comes to, my kids, my wife and I both have careers. So we have a big family, a village around us to help us manage the expectations that's needed and set for our kids. And so we have all that in place. And then now, for me, it's just about making sure that I build relationships with my family. So I'm a kind of person, man, I take people on dates. I date my mother. I date my daughters. I take my father. I take everybody on dates, and I get to know them. Because I can't be a leader if I don't know you. If I don't know how to lead you, I can't be the leader. And so I spend time to get to know the people that's in my village that I'm the leader of, which is my kids, my wife, my father, my mother, so I can learn how to lead them the right way.
So that's some of those transferable skills.
And some of them transferable skills is being a leader,
Absolutely.
right? And understanding how, and know that I can't talk to Chris Bosh like I could talk to LeBron, right? Two totally different personalities and people. So I got to go to Chris a little smoother. Hey, C, man, hey, you got to get back on D. Brian, what the fuck you doing, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's communication, but you got to know who you're communicating with.
Right.
And so that's the same thing when it comes to my kids and my family and my wife and all of this. You got to know who you communicate with, or you just pretty much yelling at a wall, or you're talking to a wall. And so time management, to be able to do all those things, you got to manage your time wisely.
David Mann, I think, shocked this room yesterday. David Mann from Mr. Brown, Tamala Mann's husband, who's been extremely successful.
Yeah.
And he talked about the pressures of family and business, and that it sent him into a state of depression because he was just so tired of every time he picked up his phone or every time he met somebody, they were asking him for something. And he said, even though he had it, and I didn't even know he had it like that, D, till he showed me he had it like that.
He got it.
He said, even though I had it, just the pressure of everybody asking me for some of it constantly.
Yeah.
He said, and I'm a comedian, he said, when I told people I was in a state of depression, he said, everyone was shocked. Have you ever felt that pressure of people just wanting so much from you?
Yeah, I did. Early on, man. I mean, come on. I mean, I've signed $100 million. You know they coming. You know what I mean? I'm getting all the business plans. I'm getting all the ideas about to make us rich. I'm like, but I'm already, okay, let's do it. You got to make me rich. Let's see. No, I mean, you're getting them. And you know what? To a space, you got to respect it. You know what I mean? Don't mean you got to do it. But you got to respect that they're taking for this opportunity, right? But along the way, I had to realize I had to get buffers. See, a lot of people don't have buffers. You ain't coming right to me with no ideas. You can't. We ain't doing that, right? And so, in every aspect of my life, I have a buffer before it comes to me. Maybe two people before it even comes to me. And those people are very, very important to keep their stresses off you, because it's a lot of things. Like, I come home, I ain't gonna even lie to you, I'm married. Y'all know this. I come home, there's certain things I'll be looking at my wife like, I don't need to know that. You could have handled that without me. Why you need to tell me that? You couldn't, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a couple things
I had
like,
that conversation about an hour ago.
yeah, like, I don't want to know everything. You can't handle that. And so I need people that can handle things, right? To be that buffer. And then once something seek through, once something is real from a family member or for something like that, then we sit down and we see how real it is. But I had to learn that very early, man, because I had a lot of people reaching for me when I first, got drafted at 21 years old. And you have a lot of people that's been on this journey with you. You don't want to feel like I don't want to take care of my people. You don't want to feel like a sellout. Whatever your people are going to try to make you feel. But along the way, you're going to realize that you can't do it for everybody, right? You teach them how to fish. Please teach them how to fish. Don't just give them some fish.
You are what, 41 now?
Yeah, I'm 41. You got some 41-year-olds in here?
Okay, I guess
I'm
a lot of people 41 in here, okay?
I'm in.
They was way excited about that, wasn't it?
It's supposed to be at 40. I feel like this is our time. Like this
Okay.
the time right here, baby.
All right. So D, at 41, think back to when you were 21. What do you wish you had known then that you know now?
At 21, besides everything, because I didn't know. I'm going to tell you what you don't know at 21. Nothing. I'll tell you again what you don't know at 21. Nothing. I'm going to tell you again what you don't know at 21. Not a goddamn thing. I thought I knew everything. I wish I really wish, maybe I wish I would have recognized the people in my life that I should have listened to. It's people that's here and that's there, that's around, but you may not be willing to listen to them. And I did a lot of things when I was married and I had a kid by 21. Don't y'all bet not. I ain't love. All right, okay. Let's talk about love in the back. Y'all bet not. I wish somebody would have smacked the shit out of me and told me don't do that. I didn't know anything about life, but I was trying to get married and have, and I had a kid. And so I wish I had mentors. I wish I had listened to my father. I wish I had continued to allow him to be the leader of my life that he was put in my life to be. We get to an age as young black men and as young men where that testosterone start building up, and we start getting muscles, and we start getting women, or whatever we into. You start having sexual relations, whatever it is, and you start feeling like you are grown. You start feeling like you know everything. Or maybe because you're making a little bit more money than somebody in your family or your dad, you feel like you know it. You don't know nothing. And so I wish I would have listened more when I was 21. I would have been able to at least know what was coming instead of getting smacked in the face with it.
Who was the greatest coach you ever had?
The greatest coach I ever had was Tom Crean, my college coach at Marquette. That was the greatest coach I ever had.
What did he teach you that just propel your career?
It wasn't about me.
Wow.
I came to college thinking I was nice, averaging 27, 27, 12, 5, 4. I know my stats. We all know our stats. You be hooping, counting your stats in the game. Like, that's 12 for me. You know what I'm saying? I know my stats. And I got to college, he taught me to be a winner, to be considered a winner, and to be successful, it has to be bigger than you. It has to be bigger than you. Not just on the court, but off the court. And so I learned that from Tom Crean. And you was not going to play if you didn't have that mentality. That's why a little school like Marquette can go to the Final Four, because it became bigger than all of us. Anybody out here watching Colorado right now, the football team, prime time? All right, that's our team right now too, by the way. I'm on a bandwagon like a mud. I can't. I'm looking for a T-shirt, something in the mall.
All of us.
All of us, right? And we deserve. Prime time. We deserve you, bro. We deserve this team, right? But watch out. Look how he's leading. Look how them coaches are leading them young men. They're making them accountable. Everybody want to talk about how you can be successful, like how's the Miami Heat culture and all these things. It's accountability. And Tom Crean held me accountable to the things he knew that breed success. And so that's what Prime is doing in Colorado. He's holding them accountable, and he's holding them coaches on the other side accountable too.
That's great. So, D, final question. There are some young men in this room who came from neighborhoods just like you and I. And those neighborhoods may be a little more dangerous today than when you and I came. They were dangerous when you and I came up through them. They may be a little more dangerous today because of the amount of guns out there. Give them some advice and some encouragement as they leave this room today.
Man, first of all, when it comes to our communities and what we've all have dealt with at some point, and what some people in here is probably dealing with, you ain't gonna change that. That's gonna exist in this world forever, right? The hood is gonna exist in this world forever. This world is built off of making sure that everybody don't stand up. All right, so I need y'all to know what the world is first. But along the way, we're not gonna play that game, oh, woe us, neither. We can't play that game neither. Understand what it is out here, know what it is out here, and then do what you gotta do. And so I talked about this with my cousin the other day. I have this saying that I go through in life called enjoy the traffic. How many people get in their car, put their address in Google Maps or whatever, and see 45 minutes and be like, fuck! We hate sitting in traffic, don't we? We always trying to get to the destination right away. No one wants to enjoy the journey. There's something in that traffic for you. And so along the way, as you try to create the life that you want, right? When we was all born, however it was given to us, we were all given a blank piece of paper. We was all given a blank canvas. And it said, draw the life you want. And so draw the life you want, but don't rush to the destination, because the journey is where it's at. The journey is where you learn. The journey is where you educate. The journey is where you aspire and aspire. And so whatever your circumstances are, understand them. Look at it in the face. Don't run from it, but understand how to attack it to be as great as you want to be. And enjoy the journey, man, because that's all we got in life. All we got and all we know is this moment right here. We don't know anything once we leave this room, right? And so this moment is all that matters. Enjoy the moment, understand what you get from the moment, and then move to the next one. That's what life is about.
NBA Hall of Famer Dwayne Wade.
Sir, thank you, man.
Make some noise, y'all. Dwayne Wade is in the building.
Thank you guys, man. Thank y'all.